when you have 15 people, and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be down to close to zero, that's a pretty good job we've done.
Hundreds in New York die every day. Hospitals are repurposing refrigerator trucks as makeshift morgues. And in the city's reserved site for unmarked graves, burials have spiked. The weekly average is now being reached every day. The rise is being attributed to COVID-19.
Number of coronavirus deaths tops 240 in LA County. This as officials extend the stay-at-home order for another month.
You are now required to wear masks if you work at or visit an essential business in Los Angeles. Other cities also following LA's lead.
And thousands of people lining up for hours at a drive-through food distribution event in Inglewood.
Today, I'm instructing my administration to halt funding of the World Health Organization.
He's defunding the World Health Organization during a global pandemic. Brilliant! It's like when your house is engulfed in flames, first thing you do, burn down the fire department.
The federal government cannot wipe their hands of this and say, oh, the states are responsible for testing. We cannot do it. We cannot do it without federal help. I'm willing to do what I can do and more, but I'm telling you, I don't do China relations, I don't do international supply chain, and that's where the federal government can help.
You don't want to send people back to the workplace.
We want to have it, and we're going to see if we have it. Do you need it? No. Is it a nice thing to do? Yes.
This morning, workers across the country pushing back.
We want to go back to work.
We need to get this going again. It's time.
I'm a free American, and we need to start freaking acting like it.
From Texas to Virginia, protests erupting as states extend stay-at-home orders.
I'm Barry Gordon.
And I'm Andre Coleman.
And this is NewsRap, live and at home in 5.
Drums.
Okay. All right, we are back. How's it going at home, man?
It's still going, man. I still need a haircut.
Yeah?
You know, at some point, right?
I know. What am I
How you
hearing?
doing?
I'm hearing, is that your phone?
Not mine.
Okay. I was hearing a phone. So, just before I came on, I was watching the Dog and Pony Show, the daily White House task force briefing. And I got to tell you, I did not come away, of course, I didn't finish it, but I did not come away from that feeling at all good.
Well, I don't think anybody did. I mean, the guy is tweeting today, liberate Michigan, liberate Minnesota, liberate Virginia.
I know. I know. But now the doctors aren't making me feel good. That's a big problem. Because I was feeling pretty good when the doctors came on. But now the doctors aren't making me feel good because, you know, they're talking a lot. You know, now they've got these statistics. They say they only have to do 27 tests per 1,000. They said they're doing this so-called sentinel monitoring with the indigenous groups, great. With nursing homes, great. With vulnerable people in the inner city, great. But the last thing that I read from the CDC is that 1 out of 4 people don't even know they've had this virus.
Right. That's right.
They have no symptoms at all. I mean, I had symptoms. You know, my wife had symptoms. And we were still told we probably didn't have it. Who knows? But the fact is, how many people are walking around who haven't been told anything?
And, you know,
and that person is going to sit near you and me when we get to phase 1. That person is going to be in the gym with us, you know?
And you know, people at the beginning of this, apparently before symptoms show up, that's when people are the most contagious.
That's right. It could be. Well, we don't know that for sure, but it could be. So the thing is that, yeah, they can talk about statistics all they want, but I'm a person. You're a person. And when we look at that, how safe do we feel that, 27 people per 1,000 are being tested, and somehow that's making us feel better?
No, you know what?
I don't know.
These are the same people who told us 2 months ago we didn't need to go buy masks.
Yeah.
So I don't take their word on predictions. I don't take their word on testing. The best person to advocate and take care of me is me, period.
That's
and
right.
I'm not going back in the crowds for a while. I can tell you that right now. Even when they open it, I'm not going back in the crowds for a while.
Yeah. And, what I really am interested in, because I have a personal interest in this, is the entertainment industry. When do they open up Broadway again? When do they open up the Pasadena Playhouse again? Are they going to allow the Pasadena Playhouse to open, but a third full?
Yeah.
What are they going to do? What are they going to do about actors? They better have a test, an antibody test, or actually a diagnostic test for every actor in America, because actors are not social distancing with other actors.
Of course not.
That's
just not how that business works, right?
Know? So if I go to work, then Disney, then Warner's, then any of those, voiceover, we can do at home. Cool. But an actor, even at my little theater, Parsons knows, I'm going to want to know that everybody there has been tested. And the problem, as Fauci pointed out today, is all that tells me is if I get tested today, all that tells me is I don't have the virus today.
Not just today, in that snapshot in time.
Mm-hmm.
You could walk outside right after that and catch the virus.
That's the point. That's what I'm saying. So then you need to get tested tomorrow. You need to get tested every day in order to safe. Now, then they're talking about these wonderful drugs that they're developing, this remdesivir that they have, and they say that's doing great things, and Gilead's stock is going up. Here's a problem with that, okay? First of all, it's not a pill.
Yeah.
I think it's an IV infusion. So you already have to be sick.
Right.
In order to take it, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so you take it, and maybe you'll get better. Now, what I read was that about 23% of those people don't get better. Okay, am I in the 23% or am I in the 77%? And actually, it's not 77%, it's about 60-something% get better because 13% die.
You know what the best percentage is? The 100% of social distancing and staying home.
Well, yeah, but we can't do that and let the economy go. So what can we do?
I'm not looking at it that way. This is how I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Today, I'm staying home and social distancing. I'll deal with tomorrow. I'm not even caught up in the quarantine aspect of it anymore. I'm keeping busy. I'm taking care of business, and I'm doing things.
Exactly. But unfortunately, a lot of people can't do that.
Of course. At some point, I, like everybody else, we will get to the point where, okay, this has to end and we have to move forward. At that point, I'll start dealing with that part of it. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go outside because some idiot tells me I can now go outside, the sniper is gone, and I don't know, and I don't see any police cars driving away with them, and I still hear gunshots. I'd be a damn fool under those conditions.
That's it. I mean, that's the problem. So they can talk all they want, but how are people going to react? Now, we know how the idiots who back Trump are going to react. They're going to say yay, and, they're going to gather or do, conga lines or whatever the heck they're going to do to be close together. I mean, it seems to me, I saw some of those pictures. I mean, they're just looking for freaking trouble.
Well,
they're just
the trouble they're going to get is
for it.
They're going to get trouble. You know what it's going to be? They're going to get the virus.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what they're looking for.
I heard about one of those preachers talking about he was bathed in the blood of God and he caught the virus and he died.
Mm-hmm.
Faith, great. He had his faith, and I hope he had it till the end. But he still got the virus and he still died. So
yeah,
they can show their guns on TV and talk about the rights. That's fine. But I'm not going out there with them.
I got to tell you, but now we have to liberate Michigan, liberate Minnesota, liberate Virginia. Why didn't he just have one tweet? He should have just had one tweet that said, liberate the battleground states, because that is what it was all about, right?
Well, I'm kind of still hoping we all get liberated in November.
Oh, yeah.
That might be the biggest liberation of them all.
Actually, along those lines, if we want to switch gears a little bit, we've got a video of some things that kind of maybe will influence November.
All right.
So why don't we run that?
Joe Biden was there at the very moment I became a senator. He
Good, Jared.
swore me in. And when he did, he said, "You gave me hell, and you're going to do a great job." Because that's the thing about Joe. He wants you in the fight with him. And when you're in the fight with Joe at your side, you know you have a partner who's committed to getting something good done for this country. Joe Biden is a selfless public servant. He is committed to the fight for social, racial, and economic justice. Joe Biden will lead a government that works for the American people. And now it's up to all of us to help make Joe Biden the next president of the United States.
We are in a terrible moment, an unprecedented moment, and I know we share the understanding that we've got to go forward right now and out of this in an unprecedented way to address the terrible pain that so many of our fellow Americans are feeling. So today I am asking all Americans, I'm asking every Democrat, I'm asking every independent, I'm asking a lot of Republicans to come together in this campaign to support your candidacy, which I endorse, to make certain that we defeat somebody who I believe, and I'm speaking just for myself now, is the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country.
But if there's one thing we've learned as a country from moments of great crisis, it's that the spirit of looking out for one another can't be restricted to our homes or our workplaces or our neighborhoods or our houses of worship. It also has to be reflected in our national government. The kind of leadership that's guided by knowledge and experience, honesty and humility, empathy and grace. That kind of leadership doesn't just belong in our state capitals and mayor's offices.
So slowly.
It belongs in the White House. And that's why I'm so proud to endorse Joe Biden for President of the United States.
Sanders speaks so slowly that I literally had to cut him off in mid-sentence. He just
kind of does it.
And on and on and on.
You know, it's kind of that Adam West thing. So the camera would stay on him for so long, while he spoke in Batman.
I know.
But you finally saw it.
That's right. And you and I actually discussed that because, everyone, it's so funny what the media does sometimes. And they were like, their hair was on fire because they said, well, yeah, he suspended his campaign, but he didn't endorse Biden. And what does that mean? What does that mean? And my feeling immediately was because the Biden campaign wants to get 2 bites out of the apple. They knew exactly what he was doing, and that they arranged for this kind of, cutie pie moment where he would come on Biden's live stream and make the announcement. But what was amazing, and I don't know if you got to see it because, we're on remote, we don't get to see certain things that we used to see in the studio. Warren's was literally a campaign ad.
Yeah.
Warren's was pictures of Biden. I mean, that's what that was. I mean, she had pictures of him as a kid and as a thing. I mean, it was a Biden campaign ad.
You know, I think with Sanders, I think when you have that many supporters and that many followers, I think it's completely fine to give them some time to digest the campaign ending before you tell them, okay, now we're all going to pivot and go left.
Exactly.
In this direction, which was fine. And I think, you know what, the only thing I didn't like about...
I also think their campaign was also making that call and saying, we can get 2 bites out of this apple. Let's make it a moment.
Now,
and
the only thing I didn't like about Warren...
Incredible week. I mean, with Warren, with Sanders, with Obama, all piling in. I mean, you know, you couldn't ask for more than that unless you could be at a stadium with 25,000 people.
You know, the only thing I didn't like about it, there was one thing I didn't like about it. I thought Sanders should have gone. Well, I thought Warren should have gone, then Sanders, then Obama. I thought Obama should have kind of cleaned it up at the end. But still, we got it all now. The moment has happened, and hopefully it pays off.
Well, it has to, doesn't it? I mean, this country's in a major pickle right now. And the city's in a bit of a major pickle right now. And I think that might be a good time to take a look at the local brief and see what's going on here.
Let's check it out.
Let's roll it.
This is your local news brief for Friday, April 17th, 2020. There are now 198 confirmed COVID-19 cases in the city of Pasadena and 16 COVID-19 related deaths. All 16 decedents were between the ages of 49 and 93, and all were linked to long-term healthcare facilities as either residents or staff. Pasadena now reports 13 out of 16 of its long-term healthcare facilities have at least one patient infected with COVID-19. The city of Pasadena recently released an order requiring essential workers and customers interacting in essential businesses to wear a face covering. The statement further clarifies that medical grade, or N95, respirators should be reserved for healthcare workers and first responders. Facial coverings for essential workers and those interacting in essential businesses should be made of cloth, like scarves or bandanas. Governor Gavin Newsom announced a $125 million state relief program for undocumented immigrants during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Angelica Salas, the executive director of the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, 1/3 of workers who are on the front lines fighting COVID-19 are immigrants. The aid will help 150,000 undocumented immigrants who do not qualify for unemployment and will not receive a stimulus check from the IRS.
A lot going on. 16, huh?
It's up to, I think it went to 18 yesterday. But I think the point is now that the city is reporting fatalities daily, or it has been over the last week or so, and increases daily in cases. But all of Pasadena's cases are coming out of long-term healthcare facilities.
Yeah, they are. And is there anything that the public health department is doing specifically about that?
Well, they issued an order on Sunday addressing that. You know, one of the things was, okay, you can't work here and then go to another facility and immediately work, which I guess was a common practice. No more kind of gatherings for dinner. They're limiting those types of things, which you would think those things would have been done very quickly and early on, but who knows?
Are they testing?
I think a lot of focus now has to be put on these facilities. I mean, in Riverside, 2 weeks ago, first responders had to come and pick up 50 people because the outbreak was so bad. So this is kind of something we're seeing across the country, as you well know. But it's happening here. It's real, and it's happening here.
Are they testing? Do you know?
I do not know if they're testing in the facilities. I know, we have our testing center at the Rose Bowl now where anybody with symptoms can get. Huntington is testing, obviously, if you get it, through your healthcare provider kind of thing. But hopefully they're putting the focus on these institutions that they need to.
Well, that's one of the Sentinel sites, right? That Burks was talking about, our nursing homes and hopefully long-term care facilities, nursing homes. But of course, as Bill O'Reilly said so gracefully, they're just people on their last legs anyway. Who cares?
Wow. Wow.
I mean, he didn't say who cares. He just had the look that said who cares when he was saying, quote, they're on their last legs anyway, closed quote.
Wow, that compassion is striking.
So, there is kind of going back to the national, because the national affects us. And there's such an illogic about what the White House is doing. They're trying to make it sound like logic. They're trying to make it sound like, everything they're doing is right and what they need to do. Yeah. And it hasn't been from the beginning. No. It hasn't been from the beginning. I mean, first he complains that, the states have to get the ventilators. And then Cuomo says, using him as an example, because he was the most obvious one, we need 40,000 ventilators. Well, what did they base that 40,000 ventilators on? I don't know if you saw Cuomo's rant today, because he finally lost it. I mean, he didn't lose it. He finally had it with, I'm going to be nice. Right. And it was quite something to see. And so he said he needed 40,000 ventilators. Based on what? Yeah. Based on CDC projections. That's what that was based on.
Of course, you didn't just pull it out of the sky.
No. So the CDC projections tell him he's going to need 140,000 beds. He's going to need 40,000 ventilators. He then tells that to the president. And the president says, forget it. And first of all, it's your job to get them. Then he says, well, I'll give you some, right? But you don't need that many. Now, it turned out he didn't need that many. Because why? Because you and I and the rest of, hopefully, America is doing this.
Okay.
We're sitting at home.
Right here, right now.
It isn't because of what the president did. It's because of what we're doing. Because we understand that that's the only thing we can do. Right. And it might not have been the only thing we could do if the president had acted quickly. Yeah. And didn't lose the month of February. So
instead of playing games, this would vanish.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, instead of playing games and claiming this would vanish and it was going to be a miracle, and in the next week, the beginning of April, we will have zero, and this was going to just go away, and it's like the flu.
Mm-hmm.
He bungled this worse than Bush bungled Katrina.
Oh, much worse. I mean, look at the situation right now. We have almost 700,000 cases. About 680, I think, 690, something in that vicinity. We've got 36,000 deaths.
Wow.
That mortality rate is 5%.
Yep.
Of the confirmed cases. Now, let's assume that there are a lot of people out there, okay? So what I read was the mortality rate probably worldwide is closer to something like 2.8%. Okay? The flu is 0.1%.
Wow.
That means this thing is 28 times more lethal than the flu. So all the times he was saying, it's just like the flu, it's just like the flu. Bill Bennett said, just like the flu. You know?
And they were stockpiling masks when they were telling people not to buy them.
That's right.
So he knew.
That's right. Now, masks won't save us unless everyone wears them, because what happens with masks is you're saving the other person.
Right.
But if we all wore them, then we're all being saved.
But I will still take my chance on a mask instead of going out.
Got it.
Nothing.
And when I went to the grocery store yesterday, and everyone was wearing masks. There was not one person in the store without shoppers, because obviously the grocery workers have to have them now, and gloves and all of that. But there was not one person in the store without it.
Yeah. You can't even get into a store without a mask.
No. But that's what I mean by the illogic. He could have closed this down
quickly.
He could have been great. Not just him saying he was great. He had an opportunity. He had an opportunity to work with Democrats. Even when he worked with Democrats on the stimulus package, he didn't have any Democrats at the signing.
Yeah.
Come on. You know, he's his own worst enemy.
And now here we are. People are dying.
I know.
And it still could get worse. It could get worse.
It could. But we've got a treat coming up. We do. Yes, because we have another half hour of live show that's premiering tonight with Joe Carbonetta, right? With a bunch of guests, one of whom, well, actually, I know all three, but one I know really, really, really well.
I think you do.
I'm not going to say who it is. But they're going to be doing it with Zoom, and it's going to be exciting. So we're going to wrap up.
All right.
We're going to kick it to Joe Carbonetta and the premiere of Arroyo Live. So I'm Barry Gordon.
I'm Andre Coleman. Go get him, Joe.
Go get him, Joe. This has been NewsRap Live at 5.
See you later, everybody.